You landed on The Substance. I'm your host, Philip Marinello, and we're happy to have you. Whether it's your first time or your 184th time, we're happy to have you with us and hope you enjoy. Here at The Substance, we're looking to have conversations that help us all better appreciate goodness, truth, and beauty. Previous guests include folks like Film Spotting's Josh Larson, Marta Georgievich, Elliot Cohen, actor-director John Carroll Lynch, Dan McCoy from the Flophouse podcast, and our pals over at Letterboxd, Slim and Mitchell. This week, I am talking with film content creator and now author Jeff Rauseo. A lot of Jeff's previous content has been around film reviews and physical media reviews, Blu-rays, 4Ks in and of themselves. But recently, he has written a book. It's called Lost in the Stream. It's about how streaming has disrupted almost entirely negatively the movie making and watching experience, and kind of what we have to look forward to in the future, negatively and positively. There's a lot of positive stuff in there. We have some really great conversations about basically how local film scenes will save us. So support your local theater, folks. And actually, on that note, my wife and I just got back from a wonderful time. Shout out to the 70 millimeter podcast and the Philadelphia meetup. The Philadelphia Film Society was a wonderful host to, I think, about 70 or 80 of us from around the country. And then we sold out a theater of, I don't know, maybe 200 or so for John Carpenter's The Thing. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. So if anyone listening was at that trip, we love you. It was great hanging out with you. And we look forward to hanging out with everybody next year, perhaps in Kansas City, perhaps at Greenland Armor in North Kansas City. We'll see if we can make that connection, and if that could stick. Anyway, support local. And if you have an awesome local theater that you love, feel free to hit me in the DMs or send me an email. Would love to talk to the folks who run that. Just get connected with them and maybe have them on a future Substantive Cinema episode. All right, so my conversation with Jeff is right around the corner here. If you're not driving a car or doing intensive chores right now and you haven't yet, we'd like to invite you to follow the show on your podcast platform of choice. Hit the rating. If it gives the option for review, take 30 seconds, write a sentence or two about what you like about the show, and it does help other people find us. And now, without further ado, here's my conversation with Jeff. Jeff Rauseo, welcome to The Substance, man. It's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You are one of the handful. There are, I don't know, you probably have a better perspective on this than I do. There's a good amount of physical media channels. I'm a big physical media fan. We have several folks in our audience who like it. And there are a lot, like in anything, there's a lot of little niches where you're like, oh, these different guys or gals have like tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 plus. But like, you're one of the guys I feel like I found around COVID or maybe just post COVID. And it's really seemed to pop off for you guys. You've grown your feed quite a bit, and we're here talking about your first book, man. Congrats.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's funny. A lot of people tell me the same thing. Like, COVID is when things popped off and when people found me. Most people found me on YouTube then, and that's when the YouTube channel really popped off. I think that it was a combination of things, right? Like, there weren't many movies coming out, so people were looking for older stuff, going back into their collections, thinking about starting their own collections, because even streaming, I mean, nobody was making anything, so there wasn't much new. But yeah, that kind of blew up. And then over the last couple of years, my Instagram account just started blowing up with a mix of physical media talk and movie recommendations, and kind of just talking about the industry and what streaming's done to it and how things have shifted, and some of the interesting things happening at the box office and with movie theaters. And then that got the attention of a publisher who reached out to me, which never happens. So like, I that wouldn't be the way to go about it if you want to write a book, because that is probably a 1 in a million. But they were like, we've been thinking about writing a book about streaming algorithms and how it's affected movies. You keep talking about that. Could you do it? And I was like,
There you go.
hell yeah, I could do it. So let's go. And that was, God, it was just about a year ago. And I cranked the book out in like 6 months and edited it, and it released 2 weeks ago. So just about a year all in, which is pretty quick for a book, but it was a topic I had talked about a lot. So just had to put it down into words, really.
Yeah, when did you start ish? Like when did you start like in serious, like in a disciplined manner, kind of making things, whether it be YouTube or social media or what have you?
Probably 20. So I launched the YouTube channel in late 2017 when I finally moved out of my parents' house. That was kind of the biggest. I was like, I'm not recording YouTube videos in my parents' basement. I refuse to be a stereotype. And and I just didn't
I'm gonna
want
do it in
everybody
my
in the
own.
house. Yeah, I had to get a play. I was like, I don't want everyone listening to me and being like, "What are you recording?" Because like that would have been the questions that come up, and it just wasn't worth it. So I was writing stuff a little bit up to then. That's actually how I started. And then when I got my own place, I started YouTube, and then I probably started getting serious about it and started to notice traction like right before COVID. So it took a couple of years before people really noticed. And then during COVID, I got sent home, obviously, was working from home. And that just opened up like a couple free hours a day that I didn't have to commute, which makes all the difference when you're just looking for time to make content on the side.
And then the consumers, we were all sitting home going, "What are we gonna like?
What are we going to
Let's."
watch?
Yeah, and that's how
Yeah.
I found several. Last year, past and hopefully future guest Elliot Cohen, we had him on the show. He
Yep.
originally started trying to be a new film reviewer. Were you originally a physical media guy? Were you a movie reviewer? Were you a little bit of everything? Like we're all movie enthusiasts, but did you initially have a lane that has changed or
It's actually changed more recently. I started as physical media. I was just like writing
nice?
Blu-ray reviews, and then the YouTube channel was all physical media. I started an Instagram account around the same time, which was just pictures of my collection. So that was really like my
I love
way
seeing those
in.
on the feed. They're great
I
looking
know, I know,
pictures.
I know. That's the people love, and I didn't even put my face out there for probably 6 months. I was just like faceless, just posting pictures and being like, I'm a guy who collects movies. Um, but yeah, I started there. I thought that was kind of a niche that people had covered it. There were a lot of people doing reviews, written reviews, like a Blu-ray.com that had been
Sure,
around
yeah.
forever. And then there were a lot of people who were doing videos that were like shopping videos, like I'm
Yep.
gonna go to Walmart, Best Buy, see what they have in stock, buy some movies. Like it was very vloggy. And I was
Yeah.
like, there's no video that's kind of just like focused on the review and maybe just some of these more in-depth collector topics. So started there, but more recently it's gotten into more of a general movie review, doing some film analysis, writing stuff on Substack, posting recommendations on Instagram. That's really where Instagram blew up, was people finding movie recommendations and me saying like, these are, I was calling it movies outside the algorithms, right? I'm going to give you stuff, even though it's through a social media algorithm that it gets to
Sure.
you. I'm going to give you stuff that's not on the front page of streaming from all different genres, a lot of it from my own collection, and that's how I built that knowledge, was just collecting stuff. And so now I've kind of parlayed that into, well, let me tell you about all this great stuff that you can't stream or that's really hard to find or that they'd never recommend, because there's a lot of it out there.
So on that note, I was curious looking through, I followed your primarily Instagram. Like I've seen some of your YouTube videos and I love one of my favorite things is I do love like people who go more in depth. Like I fooled around with it because we do a lot of substantive cinema, like
Mhm.
long form podcasts with folks. I and companies are now sending us some Blu-rays, and I would like to do some of that. But like there's such a wide variety of stuff out there that like I really do love one, just kind of the unboxing with some of these boutiques. Like I want to see all the stuff that's in there. But I also really like hearing people who truly love the movies and who aren't like I love collecting, but who talk about like actually what it is. So I was looking at your letterbox. Are you a big letterbox user, or because you've blown up so much, do you kind of not share your explicit thoughts there quite as often?
So I am on Letterboxd. I probably don't log everything I watch as faithfully as I should. I try to log most of it. But to be honest, if you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this guy doesn't watch many movies recently, like that's also true because I have two kids under the age of 4. And so that's
That
just,
will do it. Well, I was looking at
yeah.
it and I was like, I know maybe because I know people who are like in various aspects of the industry and they're like, well, I don't want to log everything because if I didn't love it, I don't want or whatever. And I was like, oh,
No,
But
I tried
two
to,
little
but
kids is it. Two kids will do
yeah,
it for you.
it's been more recent, but luckily, and especially with new release stuff like getting to a movie theater. But luckily, there's a new movie theater opening in my town, which is unbelievable. Like, very lucky. It's 5 minutes from my house. I plan to work with them and go there like literally every week when the kids are asleep because I can get there in 5 minutes after they go to bed. I can hit an 8 o'clock screening, just like I can do an 8 o'clock podcast. Like
There you
it's the only
go.
time I can do stuff, but the theaters being half an hour away make that so hard to do in a weeknight. So I should be seeing a lot more new stuff, but I also have a massive backlog of stuff in my collection. And I also used to pretty much watch a movie a day. So that's where a lot of this knowledge comes from, like all through college, all through like when I was living at home, my parent, like every single night I had a movie on. I mean, I must have watched close to 1,000 movies, right? Just doing that. So that's where a lot of this
Those were the
comes from.
days.
Yeah, those were the
I
good
still
old days
most
with no
nights I still do try
responsibilities.
to,
I
but yeah,
tried to.
I try to get one in often. But yeah, I also before we get to the book wanted to say that we're also huge local library fans. Actually, tonight because of various things I'm recording in my library, we're big Hoopla and Canopy folks here at the Substance, and really been enjoying this season of the Canopy podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's been they've been cool to work with. I like what they do. I like their streaming recommendations in their catalog. It's a lot deeper than I think people expect for
It's
something free.
fantastic.
Yeah, it goes really deep. A lot of documentaries, a lot of deep cuts, catalog stuff, older films, newer stuff. I mean, they've got tons of foreign TV show. I mean, it's deep. So yeah, it's been fun to just kind of do those episodes. And every time we have a topic, it's like easy to find recommendations because they have so much.
Totally. Well,
Yeah.
and whoever does their licensing does an incredible job because, like,
Yeah.
we have, I mean, to the physical media, we have all these labels doing incredible work. Your Criterions, Radiance, Deaf Crocodile, all those folks. And then I feel like Hoopla, Canopy, Tubi, in like a month or two, all these like brand new incredible scans are on all these platforms for free.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're doing a great job. And they work with like I know they get the neon stuff. Like
Yeah,
Honora was on Canopy as soon as it was on Hulu, like at home, and they promote the Hulu side because they want the money,
sure.
but like it was there on Canopy at
But
the
yeah,
same time.
Neon, A24,
A24,
Searchlight, all this
yeah,
stuff is
lots of
right there.
Criterion stuff, lots of like Studio Canal stuff that they have done with restorations. Yeah, they have a ton of great content. It's almost a it's funny because they always ask me, why don't you use your credits? And I'm like, because literally, like, it's a mirror of my collection. Like, the stuff you guys have is so good because it's the same stuff I have in my collection. So I've just been watching the discs for the podcast, but they have such a great catalog.
I also have young kids, so a lot of times I do end up using them because we have a TV in the middle of our house and you can't really listen to it too loudly. So a lot of times I will throw in earbuds and I will use the credits for them.
Yep.
Recently, this is just a side note, and feel free to sidestep this or answer it and we can cut it out. Recently, you shouted out bad taste on the Canopy podcast. You got any word on the street? I know Peter Jackson's been supposedly working on those for years.
Um, yeah, and that's about the same word that I have is that Peter Jackson's working on them. I wish I knew more. I have a feeling I think it's going to be an Arrow Video situation
Okay.
because I don't think it's a Criterion title, and that's the one
No,
he
no,
works
no,
with quite
no.
a bit. But if you think about like he did Crimson Peak with them, was a really nice set. I have a feeling when he
Peter Jackson
does.
was involved in Crimson Peak?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Del Toro. You're totally right. I'm mixing the two guys up. Sorry. That was
No, you're good.
what a long day
It's
this
been
has
a
been.
hectic day, especially for parents of young children.
You're 100%. I don't know why I was on Del Toro. They kind of look similar. So I was just like, that's the same guy. Um, no, you're right. But that's why I
But
was
yeah,
thinking
the
because I
bad
did
taste and the
hear
dead alives and the feebles, that's not really necessarily if Criterion put it out, I feel like it would be great, but that is more of an Arrow.
it'd be nice to see them expand. But yeah, it's definitely more Arrow or, like a Scream Factory or something. But I think Arrow
Hopefully
makes the
not Scream
most.
Factory.
I think Arrow makes the most sense. I think they'd fight to get it, and I just don't think Criterion cares to have it. So it's probably gonna be an Arrow Video thing.
Honestly, it would kind of make sense. Like the formative, like if you do like the trilogy of those three, like a foundational of one of the most influential directors, but also super
Yeah.
goopy, sloppy horror movies is not necessarily. I mean, they do
No.
have some. They've got like those old the Frankenstein and Dracula Warhol movies, but
Yeah,
maybe
and I mean they have the Cronenberg stuff, and
they do.
that gets pretty sloppy at times. And so I mean it could. They've also done like kind of deep cut horror, like they did Freaks and the whole Todd Browning,
I
like,
love that set so
yeah. So
much.
like I could see something like that working for those three if they wanted to do something really cool for Peter Jackson, but who knows? I think he
As long as
needs
it
to
comes
finish them.
out and is
Yeah,
loaded and has good art,
I think it
honestly,
will.
whatever.
Yeah.
I hope that it would though. Okay, so Lost in the Stream, how algorithms redefined the way movies are made and watched. A lot of times I think about, and a lot of folks think about negatively how algorithms have malformed the way movies are watched, but also really, frankly, how movies are made. That's that's a very important part. And you kind of started off talking studio system, theatrical window, home video. Like that really was like people, you're a couple years younger than me, but we really like people who are in the elder millennial range. Like we really have an interesting perspective because we
Mhm.
kind of have lived through, I mean, post media being prevalent of sorts. Like we've kind of had it all. Like I
Yeah.
grew up, I had a rotary phone at my grandparents' house, and now we have Google Fiber.
Right.
But the theater windows when we were young, or a couple years maybe before we were around, movies used to stay in theaters for like a year. Studios
Oh, yeah.
used to make movies, promote movies, and like it would not be weird for 6 to 12 months for a movie to play in a theater.
No, and that was like kind of the norm was even stuff. I mean, if it didn't perform well, maybe you got like 3, 4 months out of it and it went to second run theaters. But even like,
The
I mean,
dollar theater.
yeah, I mean, I remember going to a lot of like those dollar second run theaters as a kid because that's where my uncle took us to movies all the time, and they had one by his house, and it was like, well, he's got to bring me and my brothers. It's expensive, like, so we'd go see stuff 3 months, 4 months after it came out at the dollar theater, and you'd actually have that opportunity, which like no chance now. Within 8 weeks, it's on a streaming service. Like those second run theaters are all shuttered at this point or have had to switch their programming. Yeah,
What a
it's not
crazy business model. Those were they weren't a part of like your main chains. They were
yeah,
their own buildings with utilities and employees that like
right.
sold like $1 to $3 tickets.
Yeah, no, I kind
That's
of miss it.
crazy.
Yeah, I kind of miss it, but you're right. I mean, I grew up where it was like you grew up with landlines and video stores and long theatrical releases and like actually getting excited about stuff not only coming to home video but like also when it would show on ABC or NBC for like a Saturday night movie.
Oh
And
yeah.
those were big deals when that stuff would get on TV on cable, because for some people that was the only time they were watching this stuff. And now it's just I grew up all through that, the internet. I had Netflix DVD service, then I had Netflix streaming. Like I've come through full circle now to being like, I want to come back.
Yeah, no, it really was a very special time. And now Superman is making hundreds of millions of dollars. And while it was making, it had a like an 8-figure weekend. They put it out on digital after it
Yeah.
had an 8-figure weekend.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah. And I don't know what the end game is for all of it. I kind of had a few like light conspiracy theories in the book about like, are they actually trying to kill movie theaters so that they can buy them up and own the full distribution again?
I thought that that was really interesting,
Because
and I
that
hated
used to
it,
be
and
the
it made a lot of
case.
sense.
Yeah, well, it's how they used to work, and then I think it was way back when, like in the 30s or something, there was a whole lawsuit about you can't own the whole
Monopolies.
distribution system. Yeah, it was a monopoly buster type thing, and they broke it all up and said like you can't own the theater and the studio and the distribution. So theaters are independent, but like I could see them. I talked about in the book, like even in Apple, Netflix, Amazon, like how easy it would be money wise for them to buy up these chains if they wanted to. And like just how much an AMC makes versus even a Warner Brothers Discovery or Comcast and Universal. Like it's kind of chump change if you look at it. So that's my conspiracy. Like, why? Otherwise, why are they doing it? They probably get a bigger cut of the digital sales than the movie theater tickets, right? They only get
Well,
a
yeah, because
big
after
cut.
week 2,
Yeah,
theaters get a higher percentage.
right. So they're in this mindset of, well, we'll take our big percentages week, 1, 2, and 3. By week 4, we're going to put this thing out in digital and get all our money there, because that's, all they're doing there is splitting it with an Apple TV or Prime Video or a Fandango, wherever you rent your stuff. Still going to be $25. They're probably getting half of that at least.
Oof.
So like that's better than movie ticket sales for them at that
Yeah.
point. So they're kind of killing the movie theater, and the movie theater has really become, see it in the first 2 weeks or you miss out, especially if you want to see it in a premium format. Like, it's IMAX in opening weekend or you're done, because the next movie is coming IMAX. Stuff comes out so fast now, and they all fight for those screens. So there's no time. Like, that's part of what, especially I have kids, I'm like, I can't keep up. There
Yeah,
are
no, I have to pick out the things that I really do wanna see, but I'm also blessed, and it sounds like the theater that's coming near you, is that a chain or is that a local theater?
No, it's gonna be great. It's a local, I guess you can call it a local chain, but there's only 3 of them. So,
Okay.
and it used to be, they used to own this location, then they got out of this business and they leased the location to an AMC, and but still owned the building, and AMC ran this thing into the ground. It was disgusting. They called it an AMC Classic. It was horrible, and they are renovating it from the studs up. I was in there last week while
Good.
they were working on it and got to see it, like adding Dolby Atmos, adding all new seating, a new lounge area with bar, food. Like, they've reworked the whole thing. So it should be pretty incredible.
No, that's incredible. We're very blessed here. We've had some people from the theater here. We have we actually have several great local theaters here in Kansas City, and that is unless I am getting like an early screener ticket, or if there's something very, very, very special that's unique, I'm nearly exclusively seeing stuff at my local theaters.
Yeah.
But even then, I wanna see it with the biggest crowds, like, when Weapons came out, I was like, "Hey, sorry, babe, like, I need to see this Friday or Saturday." Like, and
Yeah.
thankfully, like, what we have a great we have built a great community. There were still really big, like, full theaters throughout, but I was like, spoiling is a thing, but I wanna see it with as big of a crowd as I can for the things that I'm really trying to see.
Yeah, no, I feel that I did the same thing with Weapons. My wife didn't want to go because she was like, I don't know. She doesn't love, I told her
My wife
after,
would not even watch the Weapons trailer.
yeah, well, that's what I showed her. And then she was like, I think you can go by yourself. So I actually think now, having seen it, she could probably tolerate it. But yeah, I wanted to go opening night just to have that. It's all
Mm.
about the experience. And I remember the best movies I've ever seen in a movie theater is like, it's, I distinctly remember seeing The Hangover when I was in high school with the full crowd and the place going nuts
That
and
was fun.
hilarious. Yeah, like I remember seeing Hereditary opening weekend. Nobody knew what to expect, and the silence in that movie theater after
Oh,
certain moments was deafening. Like, people walked out of there in a weird trance almost. It was unbelievable. It was such an experience, and you just don't, you can't get that at home. I watch a lot of movies at home, but you can't get that. So I'm always trying to get there. And I agree, like the local theaters, they take care of their equipment. They know what they're doing.
and they're a true third space, like,
Yeah.
they're not all created equally, but I know people in the industry. I actually have some people talking with me, like, getting input, like, what works? Like, what makes a good theater good? Kinda
Mhm.
helping give them ideas, like, a good local theater, you have food, you have drinks, like, it really can truly like, if you have a dedicated area, like chairs, tables, games, whatever, like, you can really make it a space, kinda like a bar where
Yeah.
people come and hang out.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do with them. Is this is probably their biggest opening in a while, and it's the first one in my area, New Hampshire. Like, there's a lot of great local theaters if you get closer to Boston, which I travel for. I'll drive the 45 minutes to Boston to go to them, Coolidge
Nice.
Corner and
Yeah, yeah.
Somerville, and um, there's some great indie theaters, but not much up this way. So they're going to be one of the first local-ish chains that's expanded here, and I'm doing the same. They're already asking me, like, programming wise, what could we
Yeah,
do?
what's
But
on deck for, opening weekend for them?
Well, we'll see when they can actually open. There's been some materials issues and stuff, not on them, just it's impossible to get stuff these days sometimes, but
Gosh.
it's looking like maybe October, and we've talked about like should we
Ooh,
do I'm trying to get people in to maybe do some Q&As, definitely do some repertory type stuff.
yeah.
They have D-box seating in the Dolby Cinemas, the
Okay.
Dolby Atmos, so maybe collaborating with those teams a little bit. We've talked about like should we do a trivia night for movie trivia once a night in one of the theaters? It's like a slower night, like a Wednesday or something, and you know
Bring people in.
do that. Yeah, and they're gonna have that whole. They have two different bars. They got a whole lounge, like real restaurant food, not just like chicken fingers in a fryer. Like they're making sandwiches and burgers and putting plates together. So it should be a
And
pretty cool
October's a good
place.
time for some spooky stuff. That'll bring out
That's
the crowds.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe do some. We've talked about like doing weekly. Um, there used to be a theater that unfortunately closed down. That they did a thing called Weirdo Wednesdays, where you just came in and like the guy curated a weird movie every week, and you
I
didn't know
love
what it
that.
was till you showed up. And that had
We
a
used to,
following.
and that truly creates communities. We used
Yeah.
to, back when Alamo was in town before COVID, they would have Terror Tuesdays, but
Yeah.
Alamo shut down. And then my favorite local theater, Screenland Armor here, we have Friday Night Frights where every Friday there's like uh, an introduction. We have relationships with studios. So a lot of times there's like trivia and prizes, and it becomes like an event. Like you bring people, like I have friends that drive in from out of town depending on what it is. Sometimes we have like filmmakers of note, like we'll do virtual or in-person introductions. And
Mhm.
I feel like for whatever reason, the horror and genre world is a really great way to build that community.
Yeah. There is something about horror in particular that's like brings seems like it just brings people together in a different way, and it's why like a lot of the physical media labels that do well are horror focused these days.
Yeah.
Like it's easier to sell a horror movie. That's why you can build a label like Vinegar Syndrome or Terror Vision, or Arrow got deeper into the horror stuff than necessarily like cult, and like it
Yeah.
just
Zombie Flesh Eater sold out instantly.
yeah,
I
it
didn't even
just
try to get
sells.
it.
No, it just sells like crazy, and it like doesn't even matter the format. Like VHS tapes and horror are the hardest to find.
I've
DVDs are
been
so
buying
popular.
VHS tapes a lot lately.
Yeah, like the horror community is like hardcore, and I don't know, they get it. I think there's something about horror movies too, and like a shared experience of like you want to see weapons with a crowd, the same way you kind of want to see like a comedy with the big crowd, but
Totally. But
you know, I don't,
studios don't for
yeah,
whatever reason, they won't take a risk on making like a $2 million comedy. They'll make a $2 million horror movie
I know,
and be happy with 20 million. Well, why don't they make a $2 million comedy and be happy with 20 million or more? People
I don't
want
know.
it. Like Naked Gun's gonna crack 100.
Oh yeah, and like I saw like Friendship earlier this year was pretty low budget.
That okay, that was so funny,
Yeah,
and let me brag on my theater again. We were number 1 in the Midwest for friendship tickets, and I'm pretty sure we were like 6 or 7 in the country,
it's awesome.
like, for tickets sold, and sold out. I only got to see it once, but I saw it on opening weekend,
Mhm.
literally not an empty seat in the auditorium. There was like 250, I forget exactly what it seats, but, like, it was a riot.
Yeah, yeah. I actually was super lucky. I was in LA when it had its early previews, so I saw it at
Nice.
the Vista Theater,
There you
which
go.
Tarantino owns, and that was on 35 millimeter, packed crowd. And I swear we walked out. I didn't stop laughing the whole 90 minutes, and I was literally like, I need to watch this again because there were so many jokes and people were laughing so hard
Totally.
that I think I missed some of them. So yeah, like that stuff plays just as well as horror, and I don't know why. Like I mentioned, it's like the things that are burned in my memory are The Hangover and Hereditary as like two just absolutely incredible opening nights.
You mentioned The Hangover. I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't see that in the theater, but it was around the same time. What it made me think of when you said that, Jackass 3D
Oh yeah.
was one of the that's like a top 5 theater memory. I was with I was with a huge group of my buddies. There's probably like nearly 10 of us. And I think I maybe even told this story on the show before, but I was so close to puking all over the row of people in front of me on the sweatsuit cocktail. and my friends kept egging me on and
Oh,
egging me
that's the
on.
worst one.
Where
Yeah.
where he was all wrapped up, like, you're
Yeah,
thinking about it, like,
Preston's all Saran wraps.
but
Oh, it's so bad, I know, but
the
so
incredible
funny.
use, like, just laughing the whole time. It
Yeah,
was
no,
incredible,
those
and we talk weapons, Barbarian, I knew nothing about going into it, and that
ah,
was just, like,
I
a
wish.
transcendent experience.
Yeah, I watched that one at home, I missed it, and I'm like, that's one of the ones that I'm upset that I didn't go to. I swear I didn't even know about it until it got, like I feel like it had, like, very little
It
marketing,
had
and then it
terrible marketing. It
yeah,
had
and
good
then
word
it
of mouth, but
that's
terrible,
how I
like,
found out
studio
about it.
marketing.
Yeah, it was all word of mouth and people on social media being like, "Have you seen this movie?" And I was like, "I haven't even heard of this movie. I have no idea who this guy
Oh,
is,
man.
Zach
Yeah,
Kreger."
exactly. Nobody like, once people are like, "Oh, this is one of the guys from The Whitest Kids You Know," I was like, "I've definitely seen bits of
Seen him.
that before."
Couldn't
I
put a
don't know
name
if
to
I
him
can
though.
pick, yeah, out which one that was, but
Yeah.
the scares, the laughs, and I'm sometimes a little bit of an obnoxiously loud laugher sometimes, I can't help it. I was cackling at the needle drop at the end. After all of the stuff Barbarian put you through, the needle drop at the end, like, I started the laughter. Other people joined me in laughter, but I was cackling at the needle drop at the
Yeah.
end.
No, he kills with the balance. There's even a lot of moments in Weapons that were
So
laugh out
many.
loud funny. So, yeah, even more so than like a Jordan Peele who has that comedy background but got into horror, like Zach Kreger's probably the one I've seen
So
that does
good.
it best where he balances like Jordan Peele's movies are like scary. Like they're
Like, I think Us
they're
is one
dark.
of the best American movies and of this century.
Yeah, but they are dark and
They
like
are.
his yeah, Barbarian when Justin Long's down in the basement like literally measuring for
Oh
like
my god.
extra square footage made me laugh. I had like just moved into a new house and I was like, I feel this deeply. Like we're trying to get the most value out of our space we can. It's so funny.
That's one I don't know how she'll feel. I've really been trying to nudge my wife to watch Barbarian with me just because it's
I
such a
know.
crazy world. Maybe if we get a lot of people together and we can all
That
kinda
does
share
help.
the tension together. But
Yeah.
my god,
Or
like, the shifts are so amazing in that movie.
oh, I had yeah, I had no idea. I've never seen anything like it. Like I thought I knew it and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be, Skarsgård being weird and kind of creepy like he does best. And I was like not ready for all of those sharp turns. My wife kind of I remember I was watching and she was kind of like doing stuff and peeking in and she was like, "What the hell are you watching?" Because
You're like,
every
"That's
time
a
she'd
great
come
question,
down
but I don't know."
yeah, like, if
Yeah,
you saw the first 10 minutes, you're like, "Oh, this is creepy, scary, I don't like this," and then, like, 40 minutes in, she's laughing at Justin Long, and then, 10 minutes after that, she's like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" It's a wild movie, but I would love her to
truly.
see the whole thing, and I'm gonna show her Weapons. She needs to see it, it's a great movie.
God, it's good. Yeah, I'm in. After the end of Barbarian, I was like, I'm in for what's next, but I think I'm going to be a Zach Kreger guy going forward. I think I'm all in.
I mean, he's on this path now that I mean, I kind of wanted like Ari Aster to keep going on, and you have Hereditary and Midsommar, and then you kind of go off in a different genre. I kind of hope Zach Kreger keeps doing what he's doing. Not that those
Same.
other Ari Aster movies are like
I still need to
horrible
see
movies.
Eddington.
Yeah, they're not. They're
I'm
not like
very
horrible
curious.
movies. He still knows how to put together a good movie. But Hereditary and Midsommar are like absolute classic horror instant classics and like he kind of moved away from that and I'm like I hope he goes back on the next one and I hope Zach Kreger I mean maybe he could do a great comedy he tried before and didn't do great he I don't
Yeah.
know if people know that he made Miss March
Yeah,
if
he
that's
only
even like
half
he
partially,
half
and there was studio.
I don't
We
think he
don't
really
really
wrote
count
it
that.
either but
Yeah.
I mean he could do a comedy it would probably be very funny but I could see him doing like
I
a
just want
very
horror.
dark
Yeah.
comedy
I want so much horror from him.
but
I'm
I
excited.
want horror he's nailed
I
it
don't the way he talks about how excited he and this is the Zach Kreger corner now of this episode, but the way he
yeah I know
talks about Resident Evil, I'm excited, but I do want him to make his own stuff.
Well, that's what excited me about what he had to say about it was he was like, "Yeah, I've played the games, I know the IP, but like they're letting me." I think he said like they're letting me do whatever I want, and this is
So
wildly
just a
different than
zombie
it.
movie. Okay, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, it's wildly different than the games. He's like, it's like in the universe, but like it's gonna be my Resident Evil, and I'm like, okay, I'm bought in. Yes,
Totally.
whatever you want to do, man, take them all. Like,
Next year, there's so much great horror on the books. I hope
oh
we're all
yeah,
still here for it.
I
I
hear
hope
you.
society continues to exist
I
and
hear
we
you.
can enjoy this all together.
That's like literally one of the things I think about when I get on like a plane. I'm like, this plane cannot crash because there are so many good movies that I need to see next year. This is not the time. This cannot end right now.
Shifting back to the book, one of the things that I wanted to talk with you about is the idea of disposable content and how
Mhm.
frustrating it is as people who are like movie lovers. And like I feel like honestly, even people who just kind of casually watch movies,
Yeah.
like I love a mindless Friday, Saturday night movie with my wife where you can have some
Mhm.
drinks and just chill out and watch a movie. But like there's like we know when we turn on Amazon and it's like, oh, vacation friends too. Like we're not gonna really have
Yeah.
any expectations of this. And
Yeah.
like, why do we do movies as disposable content? Like, why do we let them get away with that?
Um, well, I think it's first of all, I think it's just the push for content creates disposable content because they need so much of it. And there was a time when Netflix didn't need so much content, or Amazon Prime Video didn't need so much content because a lot of the studios were licensing stuff. So they had like really great catalogs. Like there was a
They
time where Netflix
truly
had a
did.
great catalog and then also had like Stranger Things and like original shows that
Netflix
were
used to
excellent.
basically have the Canopy catalog. They would have
Right.
like your TCM,
Oh yeah.
Studio Canal, Janus type movies.
Yeah, yeah. And I think people like forget that there was that. Like that was the true peak of streaming for me because they were making amazing original stuff that they focused on as like tentpole, and then had this great licensed catalog. And when the studios, and not just the studios, but like Criterion has a streamer now. We talk about Arrow Video; they've got a streaming
I
service.
always
Everybody
forget
has
about
a
that.
service.
Have you
Yeah,
ever used the free trial or tried the Arrow one? Arrow
I've tried
Player,
it.
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It has a lot of their stuff. I already have most of the stuff I want to watch from them, so like
Totally.
I wouldn't subscribe to it. But like they all built that, and you didn't have Disney Plus, and you didn't have Paramount Plus, and you didn't even have Peacock and Universal. Like it didn't exist. And when that started to exist, they took all their licensing back. So Netflix got super stripped down. Amazon got stripped down. Hulu got stripped down. They were like, we have to make
And then to keep
something.
people, they're like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
throw $50 million at literally anything.
Literally anything. There's a whole, I think I mentioned in the book, there's a whole South Park episode where that's the joke, right? Where they're like, Cartman's like, you can make anything and Netflix will throw money at you. Just, and that was like right when that started, was literally anything. Like they would green light anything they get their hands on. And now they've pretty much shifted their original content. Like when's the last time they had a big show? I guess Squid Games was it, but I feel like that was almost sort of a surprise hit for them. They have not
Totally.
had a Stranger Things level like tentpole. They have reality TV now. They have all these Love Island and stuff that is super popular but is extremely disposable. And they have
Stand up
50,
stuff.
they have stand-up stuff. They have a train wreck documentary series with a new episode that comes out like every week on some other topic. Like it
Sure.
feels very much like A&E TLC type channel
Totally.
back in the
Yeah.
day. And so they've kind of shifted to like this, they're basically just like the new cable TV.
It's
And
a
that's,
bummer.
yeah, and that's what creates, I mean, that's, you're basically getting the equivalent of like the made for TV movie is what
And even if
Netflix
there
is
is
doing.
good stuff in there, it
And there
gets
is some
lost just in the glut. Like I
lost in
just
the stream.
remembered when you were saying that it's 100% lost in the stream. I know I will love it. Pretty sure I
Yeah.
will love it. I didn't watch Beef the weekend it came out, so I still haven't seen it. Like that's the thing, really, honestly, with streaming. I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Like if I don't watch something on a streamer, like before Sunday when it comes out, I'm like, it'll be probably years before I see it. Like,
Yeah.
because they drop so much. Like, I was so tired. I tried to watch that Beverly Hills Axel Foley
Mhm.
thing and fell asleep halfway through. And who knows? That was probably like 6 months ago now or more.
Yeah, no, I found myself doing it's either immediate or and then honestly I get like once you get in too far, it's like you've totally lost they have no momentum. So the stuff that comes out, even a big show like Stranger Things, when this show comes out at the end of this year, it's going to be massive. Everybody's going to be talking about it. They've spread it out enough so that's going to have a little bit of momentum. But when that last
Finally.
yeah, I know, but when that last episode comes out, whatever it is, New Year's Day, I think New Year's Eve, like I would bet within a week we're not talking about that anymore.
That
Maybe
is the
within 3
worst.
days.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't know why The
so
Bear does it. I feel
quick.
like The Bear is the most successful thing in that model, but even The Bear could be so much more successful
Yeah.
if it were. Or did they shift to weekly? I'm pretty sure it's all at
Uh,
once, isn't it? Or did they shift
I'm not
finally?
I'm not sure if they were doing it all at once originally. They might have shifted now that they have so much success. I haven't watched the last couple of seasons, but
I
that makes
haven't
more
watched the last
sense.
one. Because like you can have the biggest thing in the world and literally
Right.
a week later, no one is talking. Like Beef, I
Yeah.
wanted to watch so bad. I was like, this looks incredible, dynamic storytelling, but it kind of like even if it wasn't disposable content because of the system, it 100% got lost.
Yeah, it's that mod they need to take the HBO approach where like you can take a
White
show
Lotus is
like
fine, but it's huge because they put a lot into it and they
anticipation.
space it out weekly.
Yeah, I mean that's why Game of Thrones was so huge and became that. I mean, if you dropped those seasons all at once, it wouldn't have been the cultural conversation we're having. I mean, it's how you can get a show like I love The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder. And like if you drop that all at once, people would watch it and like his hardcore fans would find it and blow through it and be like, that was great. But the fact that it was stretched out even just over 6 weeks, let people actually find out about it, created a much bigger word of mouth. This guy, he's on talk shows now, he's on CNN talking about flight safety. Like
Yeah,
there
cultural
was an
conversation.
there was an actual conversation and you don't get that with this stuff. Like I can't Squid Game is a great example. It was everywhere for a week and I have not heard a single person mention it since that week ended. Like that's it.
No,
It's done.
and from the pendulum of E.T. was the number one movie at the box office for darn near a whole year.
Right. Right.
And then now the biggest show in the world with a million eyeballs is gone in a week.
Yeah. I mean
K-pop
that's
Demon Hunters is an outlier. That was really fun. Did you guys get to go see that in the theater?
I didn't get to see it in the theater. I didn't even know what it was until it had this big theatrical opening this weekend and now
Oh, okay.
it's gone, but I found out about it and yeah, I mean that's the kind of that was a smart move because that drives the conversation a little bit further just by giving people that extra experience, even the sing along mode in
It
the
was
theater.
so fun. It was so fun.
It's awesome, and they should do more. Like I don't know why they don't do more of
Leaving
that.
money on the table.
I tweeted, I think I sent or threaded or whatever we call it now. But
I
I
say
said the
tweet
other
for everything.
yeah, I mean I did too, but I said the other day when that happened, I was like, how, if they put the Stranger Things finale in IMAX theaters for a week and like they would make $100 million.
They
Like
would make a lot of money.
and you'd have an actual conversation about it. You'd have this momentum. You'd have an experience instead of everybody just watching it in their living rooms, with their significant other, or maybe you have a couple friends over, but like,
I haven't done that in a hot minute. Like,
right.
we'll have, like, group chats and stuff for,
It's
like,
hard to.
we did that for Succession, had, like,
Mhm.
some group chats going, but yeah, I don't remember the last time I did a watch party with people for a show.
Yeah. And see, that's another one. So, like, they need to follow the HBO model. HBO has these shows that are constantly in the cultural conversation that Netflix does not have. And they should learn a little bit from that. It's anticipation and the tease of the next episode and waiting a week gives people time to actually think about what they're watching and like process it and talk to people about it.
Well, I wonder, I hope, because like, Apple, F1 made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will pave the way for more. Because I remember when I saw both, one was Netflix, one was Apple. I got to see, mercifully somehow, the last two Scorsese movies in theaters, The Irishman and Killers of the Flower Moon, but both of those played for like 1 to 2 weeks
Yeah.
max.
Yeah, I missed them
It
both. That
was
was right when
hard, and they were both 3-hour movies.
yeah, it was right when my kids were being born for both of them. My son and then my daughter, they were just spaced out perfectly. So I still haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon because I've been kind of holding out for some physical media
I'm
release.
really, really hoping for a Criterion release, just like
Yeah,
The Irishman.
yeah,
But
and I'd
Apple,
rather
I don't
watch
think
that.
has done any, and that's the way to do it. I've seen people give, like, little guides of how to watch Killers of the Flower Moon like it was a miniseries, and it's like, but it's a film.
That's a movie. Yeah, yeah. I saw the same thing for The Irishman, and
Marty and Thelma made a movie,
yeah,
but because of the distraction and the content, I
hmm
would not like. On Apple, I fired up Killers of the Flower Moon to watch scenes to like look at how stuff was done, but I haven't sat down because like 3.5 hours at home for that kind of movie is a tall order.
yeah, it is. It's just with all the distractions that come with your home too. Like that's the beauty of the movie theater is whether you follow the rules or not, which is a totally different issue with theater etiquette these days. But if you're in one of those local theaters, usually better. Um, you like you have to put your phone away and you're in a dark room. And this is like your only option is you can go to the bathroom, get some snacks, or you can leave like completely. But like you're here, like you committed to something and you can't just pick up the remote like 30 minutes in and be like, oh, let's just watch The Office. This is,
Ugh.
you know what I mean? Like you can't
I've
you're
done that before on like Friday
I
or
know.
Saturday nights where like
Oh yeah.
if you weren't fully feeling the movie and you're like, yeah, let's go back
Right.
to Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever, nailed
Oh
it or
yeah.
something. Like
No,
let's
I've
watch
done it.
something silly.
I've definitely done it too at home, but that's the nice thing about the theater is like, I mean, you can always walk out, but like, I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie just because like I want to, if I walked out of all the movies I thought were bad when there was a half an hour in that I ended up really liking at the end of 2 hours, I would have missed a lot of really good stuff.
I
So
truly don't remember. There was infamously one time where I was so close to walking out with my friend group, but I stayed. I didn't love it at the time. My pride is almost making me not want to revisit it because like I stood for what was that early aughts? Like it's probably been 20 years of me just preaching my hatred for that movie. I do need to give it another look probably, but yeah, I don't know if I've ever walked out of a movie.
yeah, because like it's the same as when you rented a something from the video store. Like you made a choice and that was your choice. Like unless you were getting back in the car, driving 15 minutes to the store,
Sure.
returning the tape, picking another one, going home. Now it's an hour long ordeal. Like you picked it, so you're gonna stick with it. And I think that's how people like found stuff they loved, found what they didn't like actually gave things a shot. And movie theaters are the same way. Like you give things a chance because you're there, you're committed, you've booked 3 hours of your time to drive to the theater, see this movie, and get home. Like you're there, so you're gonna stick with it. And it's so easy to just flip off. It's like cable, like flipping channels. You can just sit there and just flip through stuff, and it's why watching a movie on TNT is never the same as watching it on a disc or in a theater or on even on a streaming service with no ads because you're just like, commercials, I'll flip to the game.
Totally.
Now I missed 5 minutes of the movie, but I'm back. I'll keep watching commercial. Okay, I'm gone. Like it's just a different experience, and streaming is that to the max. Like you not only have your 50 channels to choose from now, you have 50,000 different shows being blasted in front of you
And a supercomputer in your
on a
pocket.
supercomputer. And when you pause the movie, I think on Netflix, sometimes they even put recommendations up.
It's
They're like,
so annoying.
they're kind of asking you, like, "Ooh, you paused it. Are you sure? Here's 5 other things you could watch." Like, it's just meant to keep you on the app, not to actually enjoy anything. They just want to keep you there and get watch time.
So for people who are like looking to truly like enjoy the movies, you talked about how in COVID over 2,000 theaters closed down, mainly the local ones. Because I mean,
Yeah,
some of the big chains, and chains aren't just bad in and of themselves, but because of the way they are, just like across the board, they're kind of necessarily cookie cutter. Like they can
yeah,
have some fun stuff here and there, but you'll always get something better with local. Are you seeing like where are you kind of optimistic about the future with like the theatrical cinematic experience?
yeah. I think it does kind of go back to local communities, and where we lost some of those theaters, and they would kind of, every town used to have a little theater somewhere. There, as long as you had a decent population, or there was one in the town next to you. Like
Yeah,
there were
just like a
so many
local
theaters.
bookshop or whatever. Yeah, a
Yeah.
local theater, and
Like
there'd be like 2 or 3 screens.
yeah, and we like all had that, and then those all, then the chain thing happened, the multiplex, and they just kind of they were like, well, let's pick the biggest, regional spot, smack down a 25 screen thing, kill the local theaters. But now those have just been, I mean, like you said, it's hit or miss. Like there are some AMC's I can go to and I'm like, I know it's a good one. And there are some that I know are just going to be awful and I avoid. I mean, it's the same as a chain restaurant. Like you could have an awesome Chili's out there because like the people running it are
Yeah, you can have a
great.
great manager. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they do fun stuff. They got like a cool staff, but like you also know what you're getting 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And the local thing, yeah, bringing communities back together, kind of catering back to people who actually love movies and starting there rather than the mass kind of consumerism type chain theater, which is just like, we want everybody in the door. We don't care. We're not going to force any rules. Take your phones out, yell, throw,
Jeez.
do whatever you want because we don't have any ushers anymore. It's a chain theater. The technology barely works sometimes. Just you're coming in, just experience it. And like a local theater curates and has the community and has rules and
The
has
curation,
food. Like, yeah,
I
it's
think the
curation.
curation is huge, like, because I think rep cinema in particular is so powerful in creating that because
Yeah.
I am not anti-studio film.
Nope.
Like I've been very burnt out on blockbusters post Endgame, but I'm not saying like nobody should enjoy these movies. Like Mission Impossible, they're fun spectacles. But
Mhm.
like if you have those megaplexes, those 20 to 30 screen deals, and like a third plus of those are just one movie to try to like
Yeah.
jack up the first weekend box office as hard as possible, then like you're like, oh, there's 20 screens and 12 of them are Thunderbolts. Like there's not really a whole lot of options. But then if
Yeah.
you have a smaller cinema, they make more money on rep anyway, on repertory cinema rather for the listeners. Like that means not first run movies. Like I've seen a number of new movies this year, but I think I did do a couple of film festivals at my local theater. But I just hit, I think, 45 with K-pop Demon Hunters this year, and more than half of them are not new movies.
Yeah.
And that's the best. Like I saw RoboCop this year. I saw Lawrence of Arabia. Like Valentine's Day, we saw When Harry Met Sally. Like that kind of stuff where you can go to the theater together. That's like a communal movie night.
Yeah. I've written about it on my Substack too a little bit, that like the repertory screening is what's going to keep movie theaters alive when the chains inevitably kind of start to shutter because they're facing a lot of headwinds. The studio's putting stuff on digital, like we talked about. Like the chains are in
Yeah,
trouble. The chains are in
instantly.
big trouble with 25 screens, all that real estate, the overhead. They're in
You can't
trouble.
like yeah, I could not imagine the utilities and overhead and staffing, and they're not even properly staffed because you don't have,
Right.
and if they are, they're like 14-year-olds. Like who's gonna listen to a 14-year-old saying, "Hey, turn your phone off," if they
Yeah.
even happen to walk into that theater with the 2 dozen theaters anyway that they have.
Yeah. Or the 14-year-old who I told that when I went to see Civil War in IMAX, and I said, dude, the bulb is like burnt. Like it's super dim. It's flickering at times. And he was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I was like, I know you're 14. You don't
Yeah,
even know
you're
what I
not
just
a
said.
projectionist, you probably yeah.
And I don't blame you. They put you in this position because they don't have projectionists or anything anymore. They won't pay for it. It went very corporate. So yeah, you got to bring it back to those. And I am also most excited when I see older stuff in theaters now. Like I'm going to see the Jaws re-release on Friday in
Nice.
IMAX. I saw 2001 in 70
Mm.
millimeter recently, which was
That was the way my wife had her first viewing of 2001 a
mine
couple
too.
years ago.
Yep.
70 millimeter. I was like, that's incredible.
It was
But
actually
my
my first
first,
viewing.
oh yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
I tried to watch it at home because I have the 4K, and I got like, see, this was I got 45 minutes in and I was like, yeah, I'm not vibing with this at home.
it's a
Like,
marathon. You do have to like commit and lock
yeah.
in.
And
For the
so
first several viewings, in my experience, I admire it more than I like it, but I think as I
Yeah.
watch it more, I will like it more.
Yeah, no, when I saw it in the theater, I was super locked in, and they did a um interlude, and they did an intermission, and they did the overture, and they did all the music, and it was amazing. And you could, like, the packed theater. I was
It's
like on a
amazing.
it was like on a Tuesday night too, and like it was not in Boston, it was in Somerville, which is right outside, but like it was a packed, probably 250 person screening
And that
of.
probably made it that much better for you.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Everyone was so into it. And actually, the cool thing is when they asked, like, who's seen this before, or who's seen it for the first time, like half the
I
crowd
love
there was
that.
seeing it for the first time, which is amazing. Like, that's I'm born in 1992. That means there's 70 plus years of movies that even more, because like I wasn't going to the movies when I was 4. Like,
Sure.
there's 75 years of movies that I've never been able to see in a movie theater. Like,
Yeah. Rep
that's
Cinema will save us.
I think so. I think there's a whole generation who's like, I can get all this modern stuff. I know it's coming to streaming, but like, I want to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the big screen, and I want to see Texas
Totally.
Chainsaw Massacre on the big screen, and like the stuff that Fathom is doing and the
Well,
local
and that's
screenings.
I
That's
think
it.
it's so good, but I almost chuckle sometimes. I'm happy for Fathom Events for doing that for the masses, but when they're like, "Texas Chainsaw, it'll only be in theaters for one night," I'm like, "I saw
Yeah.
that last year. I know it's playing in a
Yeah.
couple
I
weeks
know.
at my other theater." I'm like,
It's
"Go
only in
to
the
your local
chains for one night.
theaters."
Yeah, I think Texas Chainsaw was playing at Draft House a few times last year in Boston, and
It's so good in a theater.
yeah, it's excellent. But so they are repertory for the masses in the chain
Yeah.
theaters.
I
But
remember I took my mom to see War Games for a Fathom Events, and she thought that was the greatest thing because
yeah,
she hadn't seen it since it came out, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
no, it's the best. Like, my wife saw Jaws for the first time at a 35
Oh
millimeter screening in
my gosh.
Boston. Her first time ever seeing it, jumped out of her seat when the head came out from under the boat. Like, she truly didn't know it was coming. It was awesome. And like, that's her experience with that. Now, I watched it on a shitty VHS tape, when I was a kid, but like,
Yeah, I saw it on a little CRT TV in
yeah.
my grandma's, like, back room, and I
So
when I
like,
was a child.
that kind of was like a first time thing for me too. Like that, yeah. I'm with you that that's the way forward when all the modern stuff is so easy. And when I look at streaming, I wrote about this in the book too. I was like, I think I looked at Amazon Prime and just looked through movies and what they recommended me in my algorithm, knowing that I watch a lot of different things. And there wasn't a single movie that was older than 1985. They just don't,
Oof.
they probably don't have it, first of all, but second of all,
Or if
it's
they
not,
do, Prime is notorious for garbage
yeah.
editions.
And Netflix did the same thing. I think the oldest movie was like 1992 that they were recommending to me. Like,
Jeez.
it was not much. And so that's where I think you'll find a balance. You'll find people who want to see those older things in a movie theater. You'll still have streaming, and it has its place as sort of a cable-ish alternative, I think. And the blockbusters, I don't know, they got to figure it out, because even those, to be honest, are I expected Superman to make more than it did.
Like,
It
if you're
made
not Tom Cruise risking your life, you gotta really
Yeah,
get butts in seats.
yeah, and it's hard to do right
And
now.
even that last Final Reckoning did not do very
Not too
well.
well. It did not, no. I think that was because that was supposed to be what, a
Also, they need to actually write their movies before they film them is a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's kind of a mess, and it's all a push for just that opening weekend, and, yeah, the magic is sort of gone in a way. The magic is there when I go see a movie from the 1970s in a
Mhm.
theater with a packed crowd in 2025. That's when I feel the way I felt when I was 10 going to see a movie.
Other than Friendship and Weapons, and I haven't looked at my list in a while for what I watched, but I remember for years, I have been purposefully waiting for Lawrence of Arabia to hit my theater in the big giant auditorium, and it finally did this year. I blocked off my day because it's long and had the intermission, all that, and I was like, "Honey, like I need to see this. I've been waiting years," and it was amazing. Like I own it on digital 4K. I have
Mhm.
the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, but I was like, I need to wait for my first time, and it was glorious.
Yeah, that's next on my list. The theater that did 2001 does a 70 millimeter film festival every year.
Oh,
And this year they got a copy of Last Crusade, Indiana Jones on 70 millimeter. Don't know
there
where
you
they
go.
sourced that, but that one and Lawrence of Arabia, I've only watched it once on a 4K disc because I was doing a review at the time. So I was kind of I, that was the part I hated about doing the disc reviews, is like I was watching, but I was also watching for like video
Yep, yep,
quality and
yep.
stuff.
Sure.
So I need to actually see it for the first time, and I'm waiting to do that in the theater with them next year for
Okay.
sure.
One more book question, kind of before I have a couple wrap ups at the end here for you. More than once in your book, I you wrote or alluded to, you're like something something something, but that's an idea for a different book. So what do we got in the hopper here for you if Lost in the Stream does decent enough numbers?
Yeah. Well, so far it's doing pretty good. I
Heck
think
yeah,
it's
congrats.
I think it's still the number one new release in movie reference on Amazon. And
There you go.
I did a little local book signing at my local record book
Dude, that
video
was
store.
very cool.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
So yeah, it's doing okay. It's getting some good attention. So I think there'll be another one. I want to do another one. I've tossed around some ideas about diving into, everyone's writing about AI, but AI as it comes to film. And I think I kind of tease that at the end, in the end of the book.
Mhm.
Stuff is moving so fast. Like, who knows? By the time I finish writing that, it could be a totally different world. But I think that's a really interesting topic, and something that, hasn't, it's been covered, by many outlets. I won't say that, but like, is there a full book and me just giving my own personal, more of like an opinion piece than even, half fact, half to pit, which is kind of what Lost in the Stream is. There's a lot of research
Totally.
in here, but there's also a lot of just me kind of venting
There
and
aren't
giving
a
an
whole
opinion.
lot of, and I appreciated that in a sense because I love, and I mean, because of unfortunately the current media landscape, there are a lot of movie reviewers who I like reading, many of them who I'm like tangentially friends with or have relationships with to a degree. But like, there's not like, oh, the Eberts and the Siskel's and the Peter Travers. Like there isn't really that anymore. There's not like,
Yeah.
oh, these are the top few movie critics. So like I read a lot of really great people when they come out with stuff, but like nonfiction on film, like I mean, you have been doing this for years and years and you have a platform, but it's like, who would they even tap to like write
Mhm.
nonfiction about film that people would read? So I'm very glad. I hope that it's very successful and more
Well,
people read and get opportunities to
yeah.
do things like that because I've got shelves full of really great books on film and film theory and all these things that like the books that get made now, like Matt Zoller Seitz is great, but like he sells his books on here's my thoughts on Wes Anderson, one of the most popular filmmakers, which is great and good. Like that's fantastic. But just general books on film theory or topics related to that, like what
Mhm.
publisher is going to take a flyer on that?
Yeah, I know. So that's why I wanted to keep it. I felt the same way. Film critics have a tough job right now because your job is basically get clicks. So you have to write things kind of in a certain way to get the clicks and get the ad dollars, or don't have a job, because like they're getting let go all the time. It's a brutal world. I don't envy them if
It
that's your
sucks.
full
We
time
all have
job.
families to take, like we all need to have
Yeah,
roofs over our heads, but
right.
hopefully there is some, if not art, cultural value, but hopefully also some art.
I would hope so. Yeah, but like that's definitely not. I don't think I could ever be an actual critic, because I'm just always like, "Ah, you made a movie. This is super cool." Even if it's bad, I'm like, oh, but it's still cool you made a movie. Like, I'm horrible with critical analysis of an actual movie because I just want it to be good, and I'm jealous that somebody made a movie. But the more conversational, just like, let me give you my opinion and pretend like you're in a room talking to me about this topic, is kind of how I've always written, and how I kind of wrote the book. And so keeping that up with something further that kind of follows up on this, as AI and streaming continues to expand, would be cool. The only other idea I've had so far is floating some, I love the horror genre, as we talked about, and doing something specific to that, which I've started and stopped a few times. I kind of like the idea of doing something that everybody's written books about horror a million times and like why we fear stuff and all that, but maybe getting into specific phobias and fears and not and talking about deeper cuts
Sure.
that play with some of that, even stuff that's not in the horror genre, maybe that is terrifying if you have a specific fear, and how filmmakers play to that and what the kind of cultural backstory is to where that fear comes from. And I've been throwing around something like that too, because I love writing about horror movies. So that'd
And
be great.
for better or worse, those are probably much more marketable because of like the horror
It is.
fan base and conventions and all these
Yeah.
things. Like you could probably sell, I don't know, 100,000 copies, 250,000 copies a lot quicker by getting on a horror convention panel than
Yeah,
like
exactly.
nonfiction film
This is a
writing,
niche
which is
book.
great, which we
Yep.
need. We need more of that. Okay, a couple rapid fires here before shout outs. You mentioned DVD Blu-ray menus a few times in the
Mhm.
book. I love and I miss. Give me a classic and a modern favorite. What are some of your classic favorite DVD menus or Blu-ray menus, and have any recently stood out to you?
God, recently is so hard because they're all so boring now, where they're just like, just some clips or some music, and it's like play, scene selection. There's nothing special. I can't even think of a
Okay,
modern
I was
one.
gonna say I don't know if you've seen it because you.
Give me
I don't
one.
know
I'd
if you
love to.
recently got on Letterbox, but I didn't. I don't know if I saw you log it. Have you seen at all or the Blu-ray of The People's Joker?
No, not
Highly
yet.
recommend. Do you know anything about that one?
I I feel like I've heard about this. Yes, the name sounds familiar, but I don't know much, so I'd be going in pretty blind.
People's Joker is that was also a ride. I think I saw that last year. Wild, wild experimental movie, and that is far and away the best Blu-ray menu I've seen in a long time.
Okay. Good to
Vera
know,
Drew.
because it's been hard to find anything. I was gonna go, I don't know how classic, but like the Shrek ones were always incredible as a kid because they're like interactive and the characters are like yelling at each other, and you can have a lot of fun with those. I love the House of a Thousand Corpses DVD menu because Sid Haig just like kind of talks to you the whole time in character while you're just kind of sitting there in the DVD menu. It's a lot of fun. And then I recently found out that I believe it's the Super Bad DVD menu that Michael Cera is just a silhouette of him dancing, but that he actually danced for an hour long and they filmed it all. And that's so it's not a loop. It is an hour long recording of
Wow.
him dancing for the DVD menu, which makes it really incredible when you go watch it now.
That's bring that back.
Yeah.
Somebody bring well, People's Joker is not terribly far. They
Okay.
do some bits on the menus, which was pretty cool. And then also lastly, how did you hear about the last movie that you loved?
Oh, last movie that I loved. I'm gonna not pick a
What was
modern
it
one.
and how
Yeah,
did you hear
yeah.
about it?
One of the last ones I watched that I really loved was I'm trying to. Oh, there's a couple. I'll go with the. I'll say the Friends of Eddie Coyle.
Nice.
I really, really liked that. And the way I found out about it was like it has a Criterion Blu-ray, and that's how I watched it. But that's not how I found out about it. It was not like going through their site. I was talking to one of my friends who's also a physical media YouTuber, Dice K Beppu,
Okay.
who is a big Criterion guy. He has every Criterion collection release that has ever come out back to Laserdisc. He has every single one
I
on
do want to
every
get that
format.
Blade Runner Laserdisc one day.
Yeah, he has all of them. And when I was out in LA, this was a couple years ago, he was living out there and he drove me back to the airport and we went to Amoeba Records together and we were just kind of talking movies and he was asking me about Boston movies because he was like, you must know, like, tell me about the ones you like. And I didn't mention that one. And he was like, have you ever seen Friends of Eddie Coyle? I was like, never even heard of it. I knew Robert Mitchum from like Night of the Hunter,
Mitchum's the best.
which is also another one I got from another friend, Heath, who does Serial at Midnight. He recommended that to me and turned me on to Robert Mitchum. But yeah, he was like, I can't believe you've never seen this. And when I watched it, I was like, damn, you're right. Like, that is probably the most accurate depiction of what that time period in Boston actually was. Not that I was alive for it, but I mean, I
It
know people.
feels real.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who were. I've talked to them. Like they grew up in that time. My whole family's from that area, from Boston and the immediate cities around it. And they were like, "Yeah, that's it. It feels like you're watching kind of just a guy in 1970s Boston, like, and a camera's following him from the bank robbery to the little meetings out in front of the
Yeah,
government
make terrible
building.
choices.
Yeah, but I mean, they were like, that's like the type of Robert Mitchum doesn't overdo the Boston accent like they all do. I mean, even I can't watch most of those movies because they all overdo it. It's all over exaggerated. Like it's perfectly Boston, and the movie is so good, so compelling, tons of great
Truly.
moments in it, and Robert Mitchum's just the man. So yeah, word of mouth from friends, just like talk. And it wasn't like I said, "Give me a movie." It was just like we were talking about movies, and I didn't mention one, and he was like, "What about this one?" And I'd never seen it, and like that's the beauty of those in person interactions, which we don't have as many of anymore.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I remember that particular one when I was in college in the late in the late aughts. I think is when the Barnes and Noble Criterion sales started,
Okay,
and I had a roommate over the summer who we were like working at the college over the summer, and he knew I was a movie guy. He liked movies fine, but he was not a movie guy. And I just got The Friends of Eddie Coyle. And he's like, "Phil, what do you got for me?" And I was like, "Oh, let's try this." I don't know if he'd seen a movie in the last 6 months, but he loved that. And I hadn't thought about that in forever. Thanks for the memory.
yeah,
I'm really like, what a good, I love that kind of movie.
yeah.
I can't,
It put me on a whole run of 70s movies, and then I came to the conclusion that I think that was the best decade ever for movies.
it's hard to argue, especially in the US.
Yeah, American cinema. In this, I ran down a bunch of the Friedkin stuff. I went early
Yeah,
70s. I mean,
Scorsese,
it's just
Coppola, De Palma, Lucas,
yeah.
everybody.
I mean, it's yeah, the stuff and it's so deep. There's so much that I still haven't, had a chance to watch from that decade that I'm just like, I know I'll love, and it's such a good decade of movies. So
We need
yeah,
more of those, like, slow cinema kinda hangout movies where it's not about, "Oh, 100 exciting things happen." It's
yeah,
just
storytelling, human
stories about people.
stories. Yeah, I don't need an alien to come out of the sky with 100 little aliens attached to it and fight the super. Like we've seen it a million times, no matter who's doing it. James Gunn, great, you made a new Superman movie, but like it's still kind of the same thing at the end of like do something different, which is why I loved the Batman because they made a detective Batman movie and I fell in love with that. It was different. So if you're going to do it different. That's all I'd say. You can do IP, but do it different, be original, you
Very
know.
curious to see, horror Clayface next year,
I'm
if that ends
excited.
up
I think
happening.
that's Mike Flanagan doing that, right?
Is it?
I thought it was Mike Flanagan.
It could be. I
Well,
am
now don't put that on unless I
like I said,
confirm.
post Endgame, Superman was the first, um, like, comic book movie I saw in the theater post Endgame. So that was, like, 5 years, and I've watched a few of them on streaming, but yeah, I've been pretty burnt out.
I loved watching Endgame in a movie theater on, opening night was another great experience for sure. It
Phenomenal.
was, yeah, it was a culmination of, 10 years led up to this and they had a storyline that you could follow. And then it just, I don't know, they got
And it
lost in the
became
sauce.
content.
Yeah, they got lost after that. And it hasn't been the same.
Okay, shout outs, Jeff. What have you been watching, reading, listening to? Like, what have you been found edifying, enjoyable, entertaining,
Yeah.
that you'd recommend to folks here? New, old, whatever.
Let's see. Old. Well, first off, I'm gonna say I just started watching Andor, which people think is nuts, but I am probably once I get off this podcast gonna go finish the season one finale
There you go.
and then start season two. If you haven't watched it yet and you're a Star Wars fan, it's like the purest, most beautiful Star Wars. Like it's everything I love about Star Wars and Rogue One. Like the
I need to
politics,
get on
the
season 2. I need Andor
yeah,
is the only Star Wars thing I've loved that isn't a movie,
yeah.
and again, it just got lost in the sauce. I do need to see season 2.
Yeah, so I'm running through that right now. Absolutely love it. Another newer movie I just watched. If you want some really bleak, dark horror, this is probably the closest thing I felt to Hereditary in a long time. Was Bring Her Back, which was
Oof.
just
I was wondering if you were
a,
going to say that when you said Blake.
yeah,
I haven't watched it. I'm a big horror guy, and that's the only one where I
gut
was able
punch.
to go, and I was like, I think I'm going to wait. Talk
It's
to
a
Me
gut
was fun
punch.
and intense. Talk to Me was intense but fun, but this looked bleak as heck.
It's not fun. Talk to Me was fun and had some like actual comedy in it, and like felt a little bit like action adventure at times. Like this is not. This is just purely bleak as hell. It is not.
Especially for parents. After the week we had, I don't know if I'll
Yes.
be firing that up anytime soon. One
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So that's why my wife didn't watch that one. I watched that one alone. Um, Music I've been like Tyler Childers' new album.
Okay.
Love. Snipe Hunter. Absolutely incredible. Just bought it on vinyl at my local record store because I loved it so much. I don't buy as much vinyl anymore, but we got that one. I absolutely love it. And I don't know when this episode will come out, but on September 7th, I'm going to see My Chemical Romance at Fenway Park, and they're doing the full
Nice.
Black Parade. So I've been running through the Black Parade like front to back quite a bit lately.
I
and
have
it,
too for other reasons. I don't know if they're playing here in the Midwest, but I had several friends in LA get to see them, and I'm jealous of anybody who gets to see them do that
they're
show.
it looks absolutely unbelievable, and I can't wait to see what they put together at Fenway. It's going to be nuts. So, yeah, I've been diving into those. Always listening to The Last Podcast on the Left is one of my favorite podcasts. Trying to think
I got one
what
question here.
else.
So you can do one or two if you want. Who knows what's going to happen with tariffs and importing and stuff, but whether it's foreign or uh, international, what are one or two releases in the coming months that haven't come out yet that you're pumped for?
Oh, man, I've been so bad at keeping up lately because there's so much,
There
but
is so much.
like I literally can't even keep up with what's coming out in the US, and then like Umbrella or Imprint will announce something out of Australia, and Second Sight's got great stuff coming out of the UK. I think there's a box set that should be coming soon full of I have it now because I think I got it early because they sent it to me, but it's a full moon features Blu-ray box set, which has like I'm looking at it, has like and I think it has Puppet Master, but it also has like
Oh, nice.
some create. Let me grab it. I want to get you the names. It's right here in front of me, so I might as well get this right because this is a really cool one. If you're like, if you're like a video store guy like me, because these are all the stuff. Yeah, it has Puppet Masters, Sorority Babes, and Slime Ball, Bolorama, Shadow One, Seed People. So it's amazing. It's this
Oh,
really,
wow.
yeah, it's really really
Is
nice.
that
There's all this,
Umbrella you said?
yeah. This is
That
actually
looks like an
volume
umbrella
two.
set. Those are real nice.
Yeah, some more Charles Band, Tales from the Video Zone, they call it, and it's so like such a throwback to the video store days. And the artwork on it is incredible. It's got all kinds of goodies, but each movie has its own individual slipcover and Blu-rays. Like, all has great artwork on it. And then I think there was one more. Oh well, this isn't. I guess this is technically both, but the Arrow edition of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the trilogy.
That'll be
I'm like,
cool.
I'm amped about. It's definitely coming to the UK and the US, I believe. So it's
Yep.
it's a little bit of both, but man, I can't wait for that one. I absolutely love those movies. That's childhood.
That's exciting. Oh man, I hope that by the end of the year, we'll see what happens. I'm out of my mind excited for that new Radiance Radical Japan set. I hope I'm able to get
Okay.
one. I don't know if you're a big Radiance guy.
I am.
Um,
A lot of their stuff is I need to dive more in, but I just bought Messiah of Evil.
yes, that's a perfect
Yeah.
fall spooky season watch. I just
So
watched
yeah,
that a couple weeks ago again.
it was kind of hard to find. I had to get one off eBay, but
Oh, did
I
you get
can't wait.
like the limited one?
No, it was hard. I just couldn't even
I
find a standard one in
okay.
stock, but I'm glad I bought it for an October marathon session, and I do like a lot of the Radiance, especially their like 70s crime stuff that they have in there because it feels like like Friends of Eddie Coyle, we talk feels like that could have been a Radiance movie if Criterion didn't
Totally.
pick it up. They have that style down.
And one of the things I love about them in particular is I feel like Vinegar Syndrome to a degree has this like as a part of their creed or whatever. But I think Radiance is the very best in the business right now of like thoughtfully expanding like the film canon of
Oh
like,
yeah,
no, these are masterpieces. You just haven't heard of them yet.
yeah,
And it's
they're
not like, and I love Vinegar Syndrome. I have a ton, but Vinegar Syndrome is you can have really great movies made in the genre, and some of them are very great, but a lot of that is like fun kind of trash. But
hmm
Radiance is like some of these movies are incredible, and like I have been like a movie like I used to read and collect like movie magazines before the internet was real. A lot of these I have not never heard of.
yeah.
Or the ones where it's like, okay, this is from like Japanese directors who you may know or French directors who you may know, but you don't know this one. Like all
Yep.
the world noir sets, I have never heard of any of those movies before.
Yeah, he's I got to interview him
Fran is
Francisco.
great.
Yeah, right when he started that label, I grabbed him on an interview and it was awesome to pick his brain and yeah,
I think I
it's
listened to that. He did a
yeah.
couple and I listened to as many as I could.
Yeah, he's got a good thing going. He's got a very specific niche and knows what he wants to put out, but it is typically stuff that's if not a worldwide first on like even
Yeah.
DVD sometimes.
And I love Imprint, but
It's awesome.
Radiance really is going the extra mile to like put things out at the top of like I love Imprint, but like if there's a 4K, maybe it's out on 2K, or if there's a 2K, maybe Imprint puts it out on like 1080p, which is fine because
Yeah.
they're putting it out and they're often Imprint is creating new special features, which Criterion hasn't done in a long time, but Radiance is kind of doing everything well.
Yeah, I like what he's doing a lot. I like what Vinegar Syndrome is doing with their partner labels a lot. There's a
Yes.
lot of really cool stuff that's coming out of that. I found myself buying more of those recently than actually like the
Same.
mainline Vinegar Syndrome. So, um, yeah, and if you want more trash, I would shout out the guys from I shouldn't call it trash, but I mean it's that kind
Yeah,
of
no.
B movie trash. The guys at TerrorVision are resurrecting some horror movies that truly have
I
not
don't know if I
been
have any TerraVision titles yet.
they've got stuff that literally they are restoring things from VHS masters at times. Like this is deep
I love
cut
that.
regional horror stuff you've probably never heard of, and the restoration work they're doing is wild because they're literally taking a VHS tape and making it look like it
Mm.
came out yesterday. So I shout
Shout
out
out to
them too.
TerraVision then.
Yeah, I like this niche that's building outside of the Criterions, the Arrows, the Shelf. They've all got it down. They have their audience, but there's a deeper cut and there's another level you can go to if you want to really geek out. And all of those guys are killing it.
Love it. Well, thanks for your time, Jeff. I'll have a link in the show notes to get the book. Does it particularly help you if they go to a specific place and buy it?
Not any of the retailers is pretty much the same, and you can get it pretty much anywhere. It's obviously on Amazon. It's at Barnes and Noble. If you've got an indie bookstore, it may be on their site where you can order it, but it's also being sold through bookshop.org, which you can like pick your bookstore and it supports them through a big e-commerce platform, which is cool. But pretty much anywhere you can buy a book. Bull Moose has them. If you're local in New England, they have them in store, which
Nice.
is one of the only
Yeah,
places you
contact
can
your
buy it.
local bookseller. I usually put the
That's what I say.
bookstore. I usually put the bookshop.org links in the show notes, but call your local bookseller and
Mhm.
ask them to stock it.
That's honestly the best thing you can do right now is call your and if you don't have a local bookstore to go into the Barnes and Noble if you have one or wherever and
Say, oh,
ask
do you
them
have
to
Jeff's new book?
yeah, and ask them to order if they don't have because it just shows that interest and then the real way to break out is like to get it on shelves. And the only way it's ever going to get on shelves in more bookstores is by people requesting it and then definitely leaving reviews if anybody's read it. Goodreads, amazing. Anything on there helps. Leave the Amazon review, leave the Barnes and Noble review, send me a picture. I've been sharing a million pictures of people sending pictures of the book, which has been awesome. So every little bit helps.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, man. It's a fun read. We need more nonfiction writing on film, so
I'm
glad to
working
have
on it.
it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully the listeners here enjoy the read as well.
So that was my conversation with Jeff. It was a great time. Thanks for coming on, Jeff. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get when you have somebody with a very large platform and a project they're trying to sell to folks. But I had a wonderful time talking with him. Knowledgeable movie guy. Look forward to seeing what he does in the future. We'd love to see more books and have this spawn more nonfiction film journalism and activism. I don't know if activism is quite the right word. Just film isn't just mindless entertainment, IP farm, moneymaker. Film is an incredible thing. We talk a lot about that here on the show, and it's always great seeing more people finding success in thinking deeply about various aspects of it. So this was wonderful. Go check out his book. Tell your local bookseller to grab it for you, or tell your local library to order it, and let's support some of that film writing. You can send your feedback for this episode or previous episodes to thesubstancepod@gmail.com or shoot us a DM on Instagram. I often check those. But yeah, if you have anything that you want to say about this show or have suggestions for future guests, we love hearing from you guys. Or if you want to send us, record a voice note on your phone, send that to us at that email, thesubstancepod@gmail.com. Try to keep it under 60 seconds or so. And if you do, we may play it on a future show. Speaking of future shows, if everything goes according to plan, next week will be a very interesting episode. Planning on having Brian Recker. A lot of you may have seen him on Instagram or TikTok, former pastor, and he has a new book, Hell Bent: How the Fear of Hell Holds Christians Back from a Spirituality of Love. The book publishes at the end of September. Got an early copy, going through it. Really interesting stuff. And I think it will make for a phenomenal conversation that I hope I don't have to have too many awkward interactions with friends and family members when I post that episode. But also, it may be great. Like, I don't know if at the end of the book I'm going to fully be on board with everything, but we don't need to be. I really appreciate his platform. Very curious, very kind, very open-hearted. Really looking forward to putting that episode out. So, if everything goes according to plan and the world doesn't fall apart, you can look forward to that episode next week. And until then, I've been your host, Philip Marinello, saying thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on The Substance. And it's
Yeah.
Russo?
No, but everyone thinks it is, and it looks
Okay.
that way. This is a very. It's actually Rauseo.
Rauseo. Boom.
Yeah. So yeah, somebody it used to be spelled Rossio, which makes more sense and looks much more Italian, which is what it is.
Oh,
But
it's Italian. Okay. Well, see, I like it more already.